I'm sitting up here like I'm sitting up here thinking like, I don't know. I'm hard on the Cavs. I'm hard on the
Yeah.
Cavs because
Oh,
because
you're hard on
I am.
everybody.
I'm hard on the no, no, well, I'm hard on the Cavs especially because we've seen this before where they've had great, fantastic regular seasons, and then for some strange reason they just step over their own. They trip over their own shoelaces in the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to go that far to say that this is one of those, you know, where history repeats itself again. I do believe that they will bounce back and tie this thing up. They have to. They have to.
Mhm.
But I'm confident that they will. The thing is, even if they get out of this series, my concern is, my concern is if it happens again, are you know, are they going to be able to? Are they going to be able to rebound? Are they going to be able to have the moxie to take care of business? And right now I just don't know. For the short term, yes. For the midterm, maybe. Long term, I got to see more.
I don't think that they're going to be able to come back from behind if they go down to nothing. The series is over.
Hmm.
I think it's only been 6 times in NBA history that a team has ever came back when they are down 0-2. So, 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So you're not going to be able to come back from that, and the season would be over. So they have to win tomorrow. I'm concerned how they're going to be able to do it with the pieces that they would have left. If Evan didn't play, if Darius didn't play, if DeAndre Hunter didn't play, these are kind of catastrophic because you need strong bench play. Yesterday, it
Hmm.
was Indiana's bench that was outscoring the Cavs bench, and they contributed to Indiana being able to win that game.
Yeah,
So
but they also got help from the referees too, so you got to slide
yeah,
that in
that's
there as
true.
well.
That's true. I mean, even when we had LeBron, the Cleveland Cavaliers never got foul calls. And LeBron was the one superstar that never got foul calls. So it is kind of just extended over to this new Cleveland Cavaliers, and they don't get foul calls as well. Donovan Mitchell doesn't get foul calls. What was that one game where we were at the free throw line 4 times? Because 2 fouls have been called that half. Okay, it was just a recent game.
I don't. It was just recently, but I
I
don't
think it
remember
I
which one
think
it
it was
was.
the
But
Phoenix Suns. I think it was the Phoenix Suns when we were out in
uh-huh.
Phoenix. They have been in the free throw line 4 times the second half because that's 2 fouls were called the second half.
I don't know, but I know that historically we can't leave it up to the refs. We cannot. We cannot. We cannot. We cannot.
That's
It seems that they like to make it interesting for us, and then even when we're the leading team or the winning team or the team with the best record, we don't really get respect officially from that. And I meant
mm,
what I said. Yeah,
yeah,
we
you
we don't.
absolutely
We don't. We don't. And we're gonna have to find some way to dig deep, to dig down, and just be tough and just get that. "Ugh, I will win at all costs." And I don't know that we have enough guys who feel that way. Um,
We'll see
say
tomorrow
when
night.
get
We will see tomorrow
yeah,
night if nothing
yeah, we
else.
are gonna see. We are going to see.
Okay, so we're going to take a break really quickly, okay, guys? So, for our audience, you've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We're going to be right back.
Come on, y'all! We got some big news, Cleveland. Your favorite community radio station, WOVU 95.9 FM, is now on iHeartRadio. That's right. No matter where you are, you can stream the voice of the village anytime, anywhere. Get all your favorite shows, the hottest community conversations, and the music that moves the culture. Now just a tap away on iHeartRadio app. So whether you're at home, at work, or on the go, take WOVU with you. Search WOVU 95.9 FM on your iHeartRadio app because our voices matter 24/7. And so does the mission. WOVU 95.9 FM. Our voices united, mission driven 24/7. The voice of the community, a Burtonville Car community radio station.
One in 5 U.S. adults experiences mental illness each year. Mental health is a journey that can begin at any time. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline offers access to trained crisis counselors by phone, chat, or text. Black Americans experience mental health conditions at similar rates as other racial groups, but often face greater barriers to care. More information is available from the Cleveland Office of Minority Health at clevelandhealth.org. This message is funded by the Ohio Commission on Minority Health.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. Remember, you can keep it locked here on your regular radio dial to listen to us. You can go to WOVU.org and you can go that way and listen to us online. And then last but not least, you can download that WOVU app so you can listen to us on the go. And got one more, sorry, I forgot for a second, but you can listen to us on iHeartRadio.com as well. So pretty awesome to make that announcement as well. So you can listen to your favorite shows that way. But I have Sandra Scott with me, my co-host, and I also have Mr. Chris Bennett from Chris and Company Radio.
Because they don't need to know my last name and all of that. Oh.
I'm sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. You know, I get a government names to acknowledge and recognize. So Mr. Chris, as it says on his thing, but Chris and Company Radio Show out of Arizona. So he's a native Clevelander who just transplanted, but you know, he still talks and does everything Cleveland sports. And we were just talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers. And odds makers have flipped a little bit, saying now that the Indiana Pacers will win this series because they were able to steal home court. Do you guys feel that way at all?
No. I mean, that's just flipping too fast. I don't. Indiana put on a good show, and it was a powerfully good show, and they were scoring over their heads. I mean, they don't normally shoot 3-pointers like they did against us, and we weren't really shooting 3-pointers well at all. So I'm gonna say they're talking a little crazy. They're going too far. It's not a done deal yet. We still got at least 4 more games to play. So I think we definitely have a chance because it's consistency, and we have a time to get together. But if injuries are going to become a bigger part than they already are, and they can, that's going to be a factor. And if anybody from our front line is going to be sidelined with injuries, that's going to be a serious problem. But I don't think it's time to give up just yet. Not yet.
Yeah, Chris, where you at?
Well, you mentioned Vegas, right? Well, somebody needs to start investigating those referees. You know, are they friends of Tim Donaghy or something? I mean, you never know. It just seems all too polite. I mean, all too not polite, but not. It seemed to be all too well put together that the refs just decided, oh well, you know, we're gonna allow the Cavs players to get slapped across the face, and we're not gonna call nothing, you know. But I my take on it is I'm just gonna wait until tomorrow because Vegas, you know, they're fickle, right? Yeah. The odds makers are fickle, and who knows? Maybe the odds makers are doing what they're doing because they want to cover their behinds in this series, as far as, you know, where the smart money is on. Because think about it, the smart money, the house money should be on the Cavs, right? So once that house money gets messed with, then bookies get nervous. So I'll say that Vegas, maybe the people in Vegas are a little impulsive with this. However, it's about money. So when it comes to money, there's, people act very, very, very different when it comes to money being once money is on the line. So yeah,
Well, here's
they're a
the
little.
thing.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Sam. No, go ahead,
Well, here's
Sam.
the thing. Vegas, the house always wins. They're not going to lose any money, no matter who wins, Pacers or Cavs. But I think they do like to feed the machine, and they like to get people digging in their pockets or changing their bets because now, depending on how Vegas interprets it, people might start taking their money off the Cavs and putting it on the Pacers. The house still wins. That's still money feeding the machine, and I really don't care for the way uh betting and gambling has really, really got into sports so much. I didn't that, but I know it makes cities monies when they have casinos and things like that, and they've got odds makers and all on all the games and all the sports and stuff like that. But they're feeding the beast, and the house always gets money, no matter who wins. No matter who wins.
Right. Well, but if that be the case, though, why the changes in the in the betting on the
Because you
betting
might
line?
get fresh money if you say, "Oh, we think it's going to be the Pacers now." That's why
Okay.
people who are pro Pacers and maybe against the Cavs will start betting money on the Pacers.
Yeah, okay, you got me there. Now, as a guy who loves going to Vegas quite a bit, I should know this. But then again, I don't like losing, so that's why I don't do a lot of gambling. And this is why we're talking about it right now.
Me neither. Neither. I don't gamble much either. I don't. I don't.
How far are you from Vegas?
Oh, 4.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
I'm a 4.5 hour drive. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that's me driving. That's pretty much me driving 90 miles an hour getting there. So.
Really? That's so safe.
Well, I mean,
That's so safe.
I'm a defensive driver. I mean, I'm not crazy about it. I mean, there's a lot of straightaways.
Crazy about it is driving 90 miles an hour.
It's a straightaway. There's a lot of straightaways out here.
No, you're not.
Nothing but cactus. Nothing but cactus.
Yesterday I saw somebody doing like 100 miles an hour down Warsaw Center Road.
And they didn't get pulled over?
They get pulled over. And then they was even crazy because, it's 2 lanes. They pulled around and was going in the oncoming lane of traffic to get around the cars. It was insane.
That's
yeah, it was really bad.
That's insane. I mean, it's not like 480. See, out here in Arizona, it's not like I-480 where it would not be in the best interest to drive that fast. But out this way, it's just straightaways, and it's not a whole lot of bumper to bumper traffic driving from Arizona to Nevada. So yeah, I mean, it's like what you see in the movies, movies that have been.
You can get away with it without seeing another car probably for an hour.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. Yeah. Now, only if the Cavs would take this. Only if the Cavs would take what I'm saying, what we're all saying right now, and kind of put it into motion tomorrow, right? More fast breaks, more defensive stops. Because even though I drive fast, I am a defensive driver. We need to see more of that tomorrow. Don't stop letting these guys get easy layups and 2-point shots. See, so I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that tomorrow. And the season all comes down to tomorrow night. You heard it from me first.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. You'll get no pushback for that. It absolutely.
So the Pacers are playing harder and faster than the Cavs, at least they did yesterday. Who do you think we should start tomorrow if we can't start with Evan? We can't start with him, I don't think. We can't start with DeAndre. We can't start with probably not even Spider, Donovan Mitchell. And what about Darius Garland?
Ooh, I got a
We need a
question for
faster
you.
team.
This one.
Well, if you want me to answer that, I'll just say Garland has to play tomorrow. Darius Garland has to play. If
I don't know if big toe injuries are like, ew. It seems
I
like it's
know,
not that big a deal, but yeah, but
I
it
He
mean,
better
is.
chop that thing off and get back in there.
he needs to play tomorrow, even if it's 70% of them. If he can give 70% tomorrow, I really think that'd be enough. I really do. You gotta try. You gotta try because the Pacers, say what you want about them. They're focused. They're focused. They're dialed in.
Yeah.
They're like the Pittsburgh Steelers of football. Well,
Yeah.
basketball. I know. Begrudgingly, I know that team.
No, but here's the thing. I respect the Steelers. And I do even like them still. But I never rooted for them against the Browns. Never.
Right. Okay, but you have to respect the Pacers too, because they are playing like they don't have to lose. That's like the Steelers when they play us like they have nothing to lose. They want this. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the Cavs did to them or whatever, what have you. But they feel confident that they could beat the Cavs and Garland, can you go? Can you give me a quarter? Can you give me 15 minutes? Right?
Because I bet that the Pacers, I'm sorry, Chris, I bet that the Pacers won another crack at Boston, because there were 2 games in that series last year that they should have won, but they wasn't able to pull it out. So I bet they won another crack at Boston again.
I'm sure they do.
Well, there you go. So they're motivated above and beyond just playing the Cavs. So with that being said, because we all know that the Knicks will get trounced by Boston in the next round. So, that's going to be like watching professional wrestling. So, they're going to get bounced and trounced in the next round. So yeah, we all know that Boston is going to be waiting in the Eastern Conference Final. With that said, these guys got to get it together right now, and they've got less than 36 hours to get there. So yeah,
24 now.
What 24? Yeah,
yes, 24. Yeah.
To coach them up, tell them they got to man up. Stay away from the clubs. Don't go down to the Mirage. Oh, that's like the Mirage Club.
Oh my God.
Not even there anymore. In fact, I don't know.
Chris.
Let me tell you. So you know how many Browns players and Cavs players used to go down to the Mirage back in the day, man?
Oh, I know.
Wait, don't you got a game tomorrow, man?
Sunday nights, but we gotta take a break because I got a question when we come back from break. I'm gonna ask y'all it now, but I want y'all to tell me when we come back from break, what are your thoughts? And what are your thoughts about Kenny Atkinson starting Sam Miller? No, it's not Sam Miller. Merrill, excuse me, Sam Merrill. What are your thoughts about him starting Sam Merrill over anybody else on that bench? And we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're listening to Her in Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Support for WOVU comes from the Alzheimer's Association, presenting the Mama Joe Project, film screening and community outreach. The event takes place Saturday, May 17th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Cedar Lee Theater in Cleveland Heights. It includes a free screening of My Mama Joe, Hope and Help, a documentary about caregiving through Alzheimer's, followed by a Q&A with local experts. Details are available at mamajoeproject.com/Ohio. Support for WOVU 95.9 comes from the TJ Carey Foundation, presenting the Heart Warrior Run and Walk on Saturday, June 28th. The event includes a 5K challenge, a 1-mile walk, and a 100-yard kids run, hosted by 9-year NFL veteran TJ Carey. The football-themed event features music, referees, and cheerleaders. Proceeds benefit programs of the TJ Carey Foundation. Details at tjcareyfoundation.org.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. And before I went to break, I did ask you both a question about what are you guys' thoughts about Kenny Atkinson starting Sam Merrill in as a point guard spot to replace Darius Garland. And I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think it went too hot. Sam Merrill is kind of a liability. He has his moments. He's inconsistent, though. And, I much would have rather had Ty Jerome start in his place yesterday because of the consistency that you got that you get from Ty Jerome. And I thought that he should have been starting over Sam Merrill. That's where I'm at. Ty Jerome, just he wasn't a couple of votes, but, you're talking about the 6th man of the year contention. Why wouldn't you start him as opposed to putting Sam Merrill in there? And Chris, we'll take you first since you are our guest today.
Well, I don't know much about Sam Merrill, but I would say this. I mean, he didn't play too good yesterday. And with that, I agree. Put Ty at the point and have him go at it. Maybe he thought, how can I say this? Maybe the coach maybe slightly underestimated the Pacers a little bit.
I think
right?
we all did.
Right. And so maybe he thought that was the best, that was the best way going forward, right? And the reason that I say this is because think about it. There have been games where the Cavs have blown out teams without Garland, without Mitchell, and didn't have to worry about it. Hey, no Mitchell, no problem. No Garland, no problem. Well, it's a problem this time. So, and also his substitutions have been fantastic. Kenny Atkinson, the coach of the Cavs, his substitutions been absolutely fantastic. So that's why I really feel that with this scenario, I think he just maybe have slightly underestimated the Pacers and maybe didn't thought that they was going to be as physical as they were. That's why I'm not going to write the Cavs off or anything like that just yet, because I really do believe they're going to make a bounce back from yesterday, and that Atkinson will make the adjustments that have needed, because that's really his greatest strength, believe it or not. So that's my answer on that.
Yeah. Sandra?
I can't say very much about it. I really don't know Sam Merrill's game very much at all. And I really didn't see a lot of him playing yesterday. So what I want to know, I think Kenny Atkinson has been doing a very good job with the players. It just didn't work yesterday. We needed a bigger adjustment. But have they named the coach of the year yet? They're supposed to be doing that sometime today, aren't they?
I didn't get any notification that it was Kenny Atkinson. So
okay. I know he was in the running, but I don't know if it was announced today yet.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna do it later on tonight. But I don't know. We just got to come up with a formula. He's been doing a pretty good job, and I have to say, when he first came aboard, I really was pleasantly surprised by the way that he moved the players around and kind of seemed to lean to the players' strengths. But what he did yesterday in response to the Pacers did not work. So we got to find some other way to handle it. And I'm trying to see. I don't know what's Jared's gonna have to come up with something. Jared Allen, and I know they tried to use Dean Wade, but I don't think Dean is fast enough to keep up with the Pacers. So I don't know
Yeah,
what the
that
formula is, but we got to find one. Got to find one.
I'll tell y'all, I tell y'all, Sam Merrill's game, pretty much a lot of threes. His defense had got better towards the end of the season, but he pretty much had been a little bit of a defensive liability because he's small and he's not really quick. But a lot of clutch threes at the time and stuff. But he's even inconsistent with that because if he gets cold, he gets ice cold. So it is, you got to catch him on a good day or what have you.
Yeah,
So
he
I
was
definitely
Dairy
don't.
Queen ice cold yesterday.
Right. So I definitely don't think that he should have been given starter opportunities. I think it should have went to Ty Jerome. So that's where I'm at on that. But we are here, with these Eastern Conference semis. So I also too, like, I hate to say stuff like this, but you also got to give credit to Indiana too for exploiting the things that the Cavs were not doing right. The Cavs are taking horrible shots. They got some good looks though too, and they just weren't able to knock them down. You see how big of a gap it was without Darius Garland. So, there have been
Mm-hmm,
people
mm-hmm.
saying in the media or fans saying that this team plays better with Darius Garland. Okay, what do you think? How do you like yesterday then? If you truly think that. How do you like yesterday's score then? Because I didn't like it. So I don't understand
I
what
didn't
would
like
make
it either.
people. Yeah, I don't understand what would make people say that this team plays better with Darius Garland, who was an all-star this year. I don't understand where that's coming from. I don't consider them to be a student of basketball to really know if you're saying that this team plays better without Darius Garland because you got a loss. So even if
I
we had a
think
win, there's nothing to support that.
I think what they may have meant to say is that our team plays better defense without Darius Garland, but I don't know what else they could be trying to say that for. And then yesterday our defense was non-existent. The Pacers were getting off all kinds of shots. They were hitting better on threes than they normally do. We weren't hitting on threes like at all. And it's just that they seem like everything they put up for the basket, we weren't really defending at all. So I don't know. We can't let that happen again.
I've
Yeah, I
seen
mean,
better
the real
defense. I've
tale.
seen better defense played on NBA Jam, the video game.
Go ahead. Well, the Cavs went 9 of 38, so 23.7% from the 3-point line. So that was the difference in the game. It was us not hitting those shots.
Ooh, it was
So
9 of 38.
yeah, 9 of 38 from the 3-point line. So they shot
Oh,
23.7.
yeah, that's horrible. I mean, when you're getting that cold from there, you should quit taking the shots because it's better to have two than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Better to have
And
2 points than nothing.
they kind of got what they wanted in the paint a little bit, at sometimes,
Mhm.
it was a little bit. It was a little rocky trying to get in there. They got blocked a couple times. Spotted was about to take a 3-point shot and he got blocked from behind. But I don't understand why your teammates ain't talking to you saying, hey, he's behind you. You got somebody behind you. Because the player,
Right.
it might have been Pascal Siakam. He caught up and blocked him from behind. But I'm like, why aren't your teammates talking to you, having that communication with you? So those are some of the things that they're going to have to do is they're going to have to communicate better. There were a couple times when they was fighting to get around screens and balls were thrown in their face, and we were lucky that those were not turnovers. They didn't really turn the ball over a lot. Indiana turned the ball over more than the Cleveland Cavaliers did. So they didn't take advantage of getting those points off of turnovers either. It kind of
Mhm.
was, to me, it wasn't Cleveland Cavaliers basketball, and they kind of had a laissez-faire approach because I think they had already written off the Pacers that they were going to win this game.
Mhm.
I don't
Mhm.
think anything wrong with it, but you also got to play hard too. You can't play
Right.
soft, not
That's why,
soft.
yeah,
I
that's why I said
word for it.
right. And just to pile on, Rachel, That's why I thought yesterday's game was more of a game, because it was a doo-doo game, because of the mere fact that the Pacers, right? They did turn over the ball more than the Cavs, and they didn't.
But they had the offensive ball more than the Cavs did.
Right. They didn't take advantage of it. And also the three pointers wasn't hitting. So let me ask you this question, ladies.
Mhm.
What if Tristan Thompson just came into the game for defensive purposes and to help out and assist with Mobley? You think that might have made a difference?
Yeah, I would say yes.
I think so. You ain't getting no points from him, but you're gonna get 6 hard fouls from him so he can
You
foul
get
out the game.
defense. Yeah. I mean,
That's what they
sometimes
should.
you need an enforcer. Sometimes somebody to muscle people out and slap people around and stuff. You know, you
Mhm.
do. You really do. And when you don't have anybody in the game that does that, sometimes the other team gets, they get
Out of pocket.
confident. They get confident and they get out of the pocket. Right.
Yeah,
And
and
start
after that
manhandling
block too yesterday on DeAndre Hunter, I don't know the player it was, but he went and stood over him too, knowing he laying on the ground hurt. So they
Mm-hmm.
just showing you that they don't respect you, and that they
Right.
feel like
Exactly.
they feel like they have every chance to win this series, and you got to shut them
Mm-hmm.
down and let them know that they don't.
You do.
But
Right.
you
You
got to
do.
give them credit too, and they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year too, and they I wouldn't say they should have won, but they had an opportunity to make that series competitive as well. So
Mm-hmm.
we're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about a team that's bad. You know, it's gonna be a fight. I was talking with Branson Wright yesterday at the game, and he said that this is gonna go six. Yeah,
What's up?
I'll tell him. He said that he think that this is gonna go 6 or 7 games, and I'm like, I ain't trying to hear that.
Well, he could be
If it
right.
goes six
He
or
could
seven
be
games,
right.
that kind of, and my heart says that favors the Pacers. I think we
Hell
need to
yeah,
go
that
on and shut
favors the
this out.
Pacers.
Yeah,
Absolutely, it will
yeah,
favor them.
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why that's why I had to watch myself, because I felt myself going to hypocrite city, because I said in one breath that I said in one breath that Kenny Atkinson made great substitutions, and and and
Mhm.
in one hand, but then I just asked you ladies, would it been, basically, if you were the coach, would you have put in Tristan Thompson for defensive purposes, goon purposes, to to calm these guys down, calm the Pacers down from, hey, you want to play that type of game, we can go that direction too. And because I was thinking it, right? I was thinking it. So that's why I had put that question out there. Like, wait a minute. Chris, you just said that he was good with substitutions in one hand. Now you're saying that with the Tristan Thompson situation, where that would should he had made that move. So that's why
Well, the thing is, think Kenny Atkinson is normally very good with his substitutions. I don't think he necessarily was yesterday, because I think the Cavs were kind of befuddled when they found themselves struggling and behind. Um, but I definitely would have put Tristan Thompson in there, because sometimes you just need a big enforcer. You do. I think the Pacers kind of steamrolled the Cavs yesterday. So that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're gonna take another break really quickly. We're gonna come back, talk a little Browns, talk some Guardians. They're in a rain delay right now, so we don't have no score with them. But we're gonna be right back. So you're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
This is Rabbi. 7 years ago, WOVU 95.9 FM set out on a mission to amplify the voice of our community. And here we are today, stronger than ever. Happy anniversary to WOVU for 7 years, and to everyone who's been part of this journey. Together, we've built something truly special, and we're just getting started. Mission-driven, 24/7. Again, happy 7th anniversary, WOVU 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports. I'm here with Sandra Scott co-hosting with me. And then we have Chris from Chris and Company from Arizona, former Clevelander. And he transplanted out there, but his heart is Cleveland. So we have him talking sports with us today. So you guys want to get your opinion on the Guardians and what they're doing right now. So they just had they're on the road, and they just beat the Minnesota Twins at home, 3 games out of the 4, and they just beat the Toronto Blue Jays 2 out of 3 games. Do you guys like what you're seeing from the Cleveland Guardians right now? And, this program, there were a couple games ahead last season at this time. I believe they had 2 more wins than where they're at now. But what are you guys thinking? It's very early in the season, but what are you guys thinking about how the Guardians are playing?
Hey, Rachel, I'm sorry. I don't want to be rude, but I really feel that I need to say this. It was just announced. Kenny Atkinson did win the NBA Coach of the Year after leading the Cavaliers to 64-18. It was just on television.
All right,
okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
With a 64-18 record, Kenny Atkinson has been named the NBA Coach of the Year. So hopefully that'll spur them on. Okay, back to the Guards.
Yeah, just asking you guys, what are your thoughts about the Guards right now? Chris, can you hear us? You muted.
Oh, no. I double mute. So I mute myself from the board, and then I also mute from the StreamYard. So that's why you didn't hear me.
Oh, okay. You good? What are your thoughts about the Guards?
Better pitching.
Yeah, pitching is
better pitching.
Mm-hmm.
And because if they were in another division, they would probably be towards the bottom of that division. But because
that's very true,
it's a division where pitching doesn't come at a premium. They have to, they have to compensate by hitting, doing the little things, stealing bases and things of that nature. So they've just got to, just get better pitching. I don't know what they have in their farm system, but see if a good pitcher comes out of that group of people and see if they can see if they can make it to the main roster and see if they can contribute. Because if not, it's going to be this dogfight again with the Twins and the White Sox, and here we go. And it's all season long. so last year, Guardians did fantastic, but once again, when it came to the Yankees and the top tier teams, up with the pitching, they couldn't get, and even if they would have beat the Yankees, they still wouldn't have won the World Series because the Dodgers would have gave them nothing to hit. So yeah, they've got to get pitchers, and we're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna say it may just come down once again to us and the Twins at the end of the season who's gonna win the division. But you gotta once again, you gotta think beyond just that, right? You don't go to the playoffs just to be okay with that. Once you're in the playoffs, you should be talking and have the mindset of winning the whole thing. So Yeah, but you have to put a team together. You got to put a team together of pitchers to make that happen. So that's where I stand on that with the Guardians. The Guardians usually fix their own problems. They have a tendency, for the most part, to fix their own problems. At the same time, it's like football, right? There's only so many good pitchers. There's only so many great quarterbacks, right? And so you got to hope you got to hope that the guys can find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, they're second in the Central Division right now, and the Detroit Tigers are leading 22-13, and the Guardians are 20-14. So they have a 2-game lead on a 1.5 game lead on us right now. So I have a feeling that this division will come down to us in Detroit. So that'll be your division.
The whole season long. I'm telling you, it's going to be like this the whole season long. It's so just get ready, brace yourself. Now, here's the funny thing. I'm looking at the standings right now in the American League. Even though the Guardians are 20-14 and in second place, if they were in the AL East, they would be in first place, and they would be in second place in the AL West. So it's not that they're not playing well, but if they want to separate from the pack, they have to try to get better pitching. Like I said, it's early in the game, but I would be paying attention to the farm leagues, see if there's a good pitcher that's going to rise, that's going to rise from the ashes like a phoenix. And if they do, that could make the difference. That's something that they want to, that Guardians may want to look into, and who knows, they're probably doing exactly what I'm saying right now. So let's see how this play out. We'll have more of a pitcher say, let's see here, it's May right now. Stay close to the All-Star break, stay around the end of June. Around the end of June, we really know what the Guardians need at that point, not only with their win-loss record, but also the standings and with the standings and how the other teams are faring off right now. Because right now, I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference of separation. So for right now, let's go into AL East, right? Yankees are 19-15, but the Orioles are 13-20. So we're talking 6 games? We're talking 6 games. All right. In the AL West, the Mariners are 20-13, but the Angels are 13-20. So that's just only a difference of 6 games separation. But now, let's talk about the Tigers in the AL Central. They're 22-13, but the White Sox are 10-24. So they're 12 games out already. So right now, it's a crapshoot on really how this is going to turn out. And do we want the Guardians to be 34-0? Yeah, that would be great. But that's not the reality of their situation. So it's just a matter of wait and see. Let's see I want to see the Guardians have that separation. I want to see the Guardians have that separation from the Yankees, separation from the Mariners, separation from the Tigers. They get back into first place and beyond, right? That's what I want to see, but we gotta. The jury's still out. So.
Yeah, Sandra, quick. We only got 3 minutes left.
The jury is still out. We definitely need some pitching. I don't know where we're going to get it from. And the thing is, the future for the Guardians is just like the weather today. Reason why we're in a delay. It's foggy. It's very foggy. I mean, if you haven't been, I was downtown earlier today. Matter of fact, up until minutes before signing in with you. And there's a big fog hanging over the city where you
Yeah.
can't even see the top of the skyscraper. You can see the top of the Hilton, whatever. And so it's kind of murky and it's hard to see. I think that we might need to really develop some more talent. The pitching is just, I mean, is Classy going to come back? I don't know. We need to do something. I know we got through a few games by 1 run, and a couple of walk-offs and stuff, but we're still being very competitive right now. But I think we got to do something or figure out some formula where we can pull away from the pack and be at the top. We're still there right now. We're being probably more competitive in some of the other divisions. But I don't know. I don't know who our star pitcher is or who's going to rise or how we're going to correct that.
And
It is really foggy and hard to see.
okay. And Chris, very quick, how can people hear you?
You can hear me. You got to go to my website. That is www.niceradionetwork.com. I am not on YouTube. I don't broadcast through YouTube or Facebook or any. I have my own website that I built from the ground up. I do my broadcast once a week. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Pacific. Home of the Chris and Company Radio Show. That is www.niceradionetwork.com. And you can also go to my archive page and you can listen to previous broadcasts of Sandy and I and Rachel and I on that website page.
All right, Chris, want to thank you so much for having you on the show. Sandra, thank you for co-hosting with me. You've been listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM, and we are out of here.
Take care, Rachel.